What completely legal things, when done in public, make you look like a psychopath? There's a guy in my town that has a portable karaoke and casually walks around singing to himself and dancing. He's not a busker or entertainer, just in another world. I wish I had that guy's confidence. Is he any good? I hope he's effing awful. That'd make me enjoy his presence more. Like, imagine hearing him coming from down the street and he gets louder and louder the closer he gets, and it just out of tune awful music. That's exactly what it's like. No, but he also dresses like Billy Idol, so that makes up for it. I'm not sure it's confidence that allows him to do this though. Laugh when nobody does when watching a movie in a cinema. Laugh when something tragic happens in the movie. Taking your belt off, putting it in your pocket/bag and continuing. I have social anxiety, and honestly, I might start trying some of these for exposure. Well, you're going to be exposed if your pants fall off. So, it would work. Kind of. I did this at an all-you-can-eat restaurant once. The waitress saw me and gave me a look of empathy. If I worked there, I would think, oh crap. We got a professional eater here. We're losing money tonight. Not swinging your arms when you walk. I used to freak my coworker out by just swinging my arms together. It's the little things. Oddly enough, I do this involuntarily from time to time. I have a colleague who walks like an NPC. I can't explain what it is. He walks like someone who had to look up a tutorial on how to walk. But he is a great helpful guy with photographic memory about the project we're walking on. I really hope this was intentional. It would be great if the original post was a civil engineer working on bridges. Digging at night. Oh, what that is? That's just my Halloween decoration. Sir, it is November. We've had one, yes. What about second Halloween? I feel this. I've dug a lot of holes at night. It's too hot to dig graves during the day. But the whole time you are thinking, I probably look conspicuous to the neighbors. To be honest, if you're digging graves during the day, you'll also look conspicuous to the neighbors. Plus your exterminator costume doesn't help. Staring at somebody with direct eye contact and not saying anything. Spend a day in any Egyptian city and watch pretty much every person stare endlessly like it's nothing. Or go to a small town in Poland. People notice you're not from here and stare at you like you wanted to burn down their house. Going through a town in Poland feels like being a protagonist of a western riding in the town while all the folks stop what they were doing and stare at you. You'd stare too if some random rode into your town on a horse in 2020. Lock-picking the door to your own house because you've lost your key. Did that a few years ago at my old apartment, a few times actually. Then the hair salon downstairs was broken into one night, back door had the lock picked. I then quickly became the prime suspect. Luckily I was in the next state that night due to a morning funeral, got there a day early because I wasn't going to be a pallbearer right after a 4-hour drive. Believe it or not, caskets are effing heavy. You know what else is heavy? The weight of guilt on your soul for breaking into that salon. 4 hours drive. We know you can make it in 2, we know you did it. Confess. 28 stab wounds. Why don't you just confess? That depends on the deceased's eating habits and the financial habits of their next of kin. Empty caskets are still heavy. Especially in the US where they are metal-lined. We're really concerned about zombies here in America. This is America. We're concerned about that flying roach on the wall that's too high for us to reach. Edit, spelling. This is America, we're just concerned. Out of curiosity, why are they metal-lined over there? Can't imagine the dead being worried about needing a bulletproof coffin. People over here want the body to rot as slowly as possible and to take as long as possible to be reabsorbed by the planet. I don't get it either. Bury me in cardboard so I can become rain. And plant a tree on top. I want to be a tree when I'm dead. When I die, shove a stick of dynamite up my ass, light it, and run. Brushing your teeth. Just straight up brushing your teeth in the street. I was in a Costco, and this random old man came up and talked to me, proceeded to tell me he was a retired dentist, and pulled a toothbrush out of his pocket. Always got it on me. He also didn't seem fully there since he asked if I, 14-year-old girl with braces, was married to the person I was shopping with. The person was my cousin, who's like 20 years older, and we were surrounded by his children, which I was obviously too young to have produced. He was one of the 9 dentists who recommend that toothbrush. You know I keep that MF thing on me. Doctor is strapped up 24/7. Keep a grin on your face while maintaining eye contact, freaks people the hell out. And whisper soon. Edit, thanks for the awards. Add on they'll never know what hit M. Preface everything you say within accordance with the prophecy. Walking around drinking a glass of water from home. This is awesome. It's so subtle but really weird. If you get used to doing it, it can turn so much weirder really easily as well. My Saturn's cup holder was a little too loose for a Coke can, way too loose for a bottle, and too tight for the big cups you normally use in a car, but it perfectly fit a 12-ounce double-walled tumbler, or whatever you call those really thick plastic cups, like unless it was filled to the brim it would never spill because it literally couldn't joggle, so on more than one occasion I would show up to someone's house with a glass of juice or soda in my hand without even thinking about it, looking like I just came from their kitchen. It always led to some of the weirdest looks you've ever seen. Friend shows up at your door with a can of Coke in his hand? Perfectly normal. Friend shows up at your door with a glass of milk? Really effing strange. Double standards, I tell you. Asking a person for directions like which way is the forest? And then going the completely opposite direction. Running the completely opposite direction. I have to do this. I actually had to do this once. I'd booked my girlfriend's, now wife's, birthday in London and had told her we were staying at a fairly average hotel. I'd actually booked a really fancy one that was just around the corner from it. I knew where the nice one was in relation to the crappy one, but couldn't get my bearings coming out of the tube station, so, because my girlfriend was there, I asked a guy who was working on some roadworks for directions to the crap one. He pointed left, and so I immediately started walking right. He looked really concerned and chased after us saying, "Hey mate," I said, "left, you're going the wrong way." I tried to brush him off and just say, "Oh yeah, but we're just going to go this way," but he found it really weird because I just asked him how to get to the hotel. My girlfriend was starting to get a little uncomfortable and suggested we just walk the way he'd said, but it would have been awkward to get all the way to the wrong hotel only for me to have to explain we now had to just turn around, and the suitcases were quite heavy too. So in the end I leaned into the guy, in what I now realize was quite a sinister way, and just said in a low voice, "Can you please pretend to realize you gave us the wrong directions and point us the other way?" I accompanied this with what I assumed was a conspiratorial wink that said, "We've all done the old hotel switcheroo on the missus before, you know what's going on," but apparently it came off more as I've told this young woman we're staying in a hotel, but actually I'm going to chop her up and eat her liver. He looked a bit creeped out and asked me what the F was going on, so I had to explain the entire surprise to him and my girlfriend in the middle of the street so that he didn't call the police. What a hilarious story. Cheers. Hadn't thought about it in years, so I quite enjoyed reliving it when it all came back to me. Still cringe at how fantastically awkward I was back then. Ironing in the front yard in your bathrobe. My mom legit started vacuuming the lawn one day when I was in high school. This sounds like the beginning of a bad flashback. It all started when I was a little boy. I was walking home from school with a couple of friends. They thought I was cool. But then my mother steps out of the house, and you know what she does, Perry the platypus? She vacuums our lawn. What kind of madman would do such a thing? Anywho, my friends all laughed at me and never talked to me again. That is why I created this. Behold. The Soul Vacuuminator. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Perry the platypus, Doofenshmirtz, what does this inator do? Well, I'm glad you asked, Perry the platypus. With this inator, I'll be able to suck all the souls of the tri-state area. Leaving everyone, besides me, zombie-like. Leaving me the only one capable of ruling the tri-state area. There, doof. There. Talking alone/to yourself. I do it sometimes when alone, but it makes you look like a crazy person if you do it in public. I sometimes talk to myself like I'm a tutorial. Press X to instantly die. No, like I explain things in extreme detail for no reason. I imagine it like this: you at the machine, if you press the coffee maker button with the index finger, it boils a cup of coffee, which appears a few seconds later and can be drunk like water. The machine does need to be refilled though. The coffee machine is an infinite source of liquid, but it does not cover the need for liquid intake sufficiently and safely. Coworker, seriously green log 12? Every effing morning? It could be fun to just make crap up like the device works in unknown ways, and the black liquid's origin seems supernatural in nature. Phil's cup. Barry? Do we look crazy? Yes we do, other Barry. Barry, is that how you get ants? Yes it is, other Barry, yes it is. Barry, am I talking to myself? Yes you are, other Barry, yes you are. Barry, what's our favorite band? Don't be silly, other Barry, you know it's between the Barry and me. Barry, what do you think of this sandwich? Well, other Barry, I would say it is. Very delicious, oh snap, nice one Barry. You're very funny. Thing is, I do it in English while I don't live in an English country. I put earphones so people think I'm on the phone or something, but I do this a lot, it's crazy. I remember seeing a TV show 30 years ago with a stand-up comedian jokingly warning of this very thing. Like with the, then, growing prevalence of cellular phones, you wouldn't be able to tell, and presumably avoid, the street crazies if all they did was put a phone to their ear. I repeat my grocery lists out loud to myself to help myself remember what I need to get because I always forget my paper lists. The looks I get in the store when I'm naming off grocery items really bugs me. All I say is stuff like, okay, half and half, tomatoes, it's pretty obvious what I'm doing. But apparently verbal self-reminders just weird some folks out. Once I walked by a box of donuts and told myself out loud, "No you can't," and someone next to me cheered me on. Walk into any store and just lay down. If anyone asks if you need help, tell them you're fine. Then, after a minute or so, stand up and go about your business. I once did this at a 7-Eleven-like store, but it was because my blood pressure was going low. I started feeling dizzy and, since my parents and a lot of my family are doctors, I knew I had to lay down and raise my legs to prevent myself from passing out. I did that. I was embarrassed to admit to anyone what was happening and I didn't want to cause a scene or draw too much attention, so once I felt better I left the store and called my parents so they could pick me up. But in the eyes of the clerks and other people there, a random guy just entered the store, dropped to the floor, raised his legs and after a few minutes, got up and left without buying anything. Thanks for sharing made me laughing out loud. Oof. I have POTS and will occasionally black out/pass out, especially after bending over or squatting and then standing up, but also at random. I've developed a pretty good aura, but only have a few seconds to get myself safe. It usually means intentionally slamming my ass to the ground before my legs give out or speed walking the shortest possible distance to a wall for stability. Makes me look a little crazy to sprint to the nearest wall mid-sentence or whatever, but if it means no head injury? ETA, POTS equals postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Heart naturally beats too fast, and when it has to increase its heart rate to meet my body's demands, like when standing up, the chambers of the heart can't fill up with blood quickly enough, pump enough blood to meet the oxygen demand to my brain and extremities. Hands and feet get tingly and shaky, I lose vision, sometimes lose consciousness. It all comes back pretty quickly, but it's still a little scary. I was out walking in a small downtown Y area, city of 100,000 people, so not huge, sometime in the past, and there was a guy just lying there. A group of people and I sort of crowded around him, not sure if he was dead. He really seemed dead, in need of medical attention, or what. Turns out he was just passed out in the middle of the road. We were all relieved, and he got up and moved. When my friends and I were in high school, we used to do these scavenger hunts in downtown Chicago where you had to do things instead of find things. There was a lot of dumb crap on the list, but included in it was to lay down on the sidewalk for 5 minutes. I can tell you people did not like that. One time we did it in front of the Disney store and someone came out and threatened to call the cops on us. Here are some pictures from that before we moved to another street to complete the task. Web link. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.